My name is Tali, and I'm a product manager here at SupportLogic. And in today's session, I decided to start with this quote: "Place the right people in the right seats, and the bus will run smoothly." It's by James Collins from my favorite book, which is Good to Great. And if you did not read, it's definitely a suggestion to read. I just find it very appealing for the conversation about assignment. So in today's agenda, I'm going to divide the conversation into three parts. The first one, I will just align us on what is the core principle of the intelligent case assignment here at SupportLogic. Then we're going to touch our agent recommendation algorithm and how the AI powers this algorithm and different aspects of it. And at the end, I want to focus on several live examples just to showcase questions that we're getting from customers and try to find solution via our module together with you. And with this, I will just jump directly into the first slide. What is the intelligent case assignment? So from the timeline perspective, we know that around the 2000s, companies like Salesforce and other big companies usually use the method of traditional assignment, which is the rule-based or skill-based. It's known as very basic. It requires manual setup. It requires managers to be in charge of the assignment, in charge of balancing the assignment. And it's mainly focusing on the speed and load balance, but not a lot of intelligence going on there. And then around 2017-18, first AI pilot began on the smart assignment. And we start seeing more intelligent routing going on in those big organizations. So today we are in the next gen intelligent assignment, which mainly focusing on different rules that are blended nicely with all those AI agents. We consider different aspects of sentiments that coming from the cases, that coming from the customer value, from the SLAs. We balance the agent availability and skills in much more deeper and much more intelligent way. And the most effective is that we are proactive. We're trying to learn from the patterns, learn from different assignment trends, and get the routing faster, getting more intelligent, more accurate, etc., etc. Another aspect of case assignment is manual versus the auto assignment. So all of us know that we have both in place in most of the organizations. The benefits of the manual assignment, it can be very particular. In some use cases, when the complexity is too diverse, we need to go into manual assignment, and minus like the challenge is that we need a manager, we need his time and his knowledge to maneuver those cases, and it's time consuming and all the aspects of the negativity, but it gives us a value of specific cases getting assigned manually, sometimes effectively. Auto assignment, on the other hand, it has its own benefits. It's obviously fast. It's doing a good job on balancing the workload across the agent and kind of loading all those aspects. It has a consistency of applying business rules in case we have different queues and business rules apply to the queues. So auto assignment taking very good care of it. It frees the managers, right? We don't need to sit and manually assign. The challenges is, again, in the manual assignment, we can go in the very specific use cases. In the auto assignment, we might miss those. Sometimes it's not the best choice. It might not capture fully the context of the cases in those very unique situations. Agents sometimes can feel a little bit stressful when they feed it all the time with the cases. Here in SupportLogic, we're doing both. We're mainly focusing on auto assignment to make sure that everything is balanced and everything is fed properly. But we do have a manual aspect, and I'm going to demo it today as well. So how AI powers routing decisions? I bucketize it in 4 groups. It's high level. Each one of the groups has his own benefit. So the AI on the real-time capacity kind of bucket We have AI which is assesses agent availability and agent capacity, backlog limits. We have different aspects of agent management which we consume when we routing the cases, and it allows us to prevent burnout of those agents and balance the assignment appropriately. Skill set, so again, skills matching assignment, it's not new. What's new with AI agent is that it's going in very nuanced way. Sometimes we can identify very nuanced skills, and AI is very good at this detection. So it helps us to find the unique cases with unique needs and agents that are good at those unique needs and match them. So it's sometimes helpful. Routing and prioritization, we are using different methods of prioritization, both the cases and the agents. And AI is good at doing the good work on balancing this prioritization and using the prioritization in the right momentum. The attention is to make sure that the cases that needs to be routed first in the high priority, they actually getting to be routed first and not the opposite. So we're not overwhelming agents with the low priority cases. Customer signals, so yep, customers call and customer sentiment is very important, and AI is doing a good job of extracting those signals and using them in the assignment. We are using the customer profile data, the value of the customer, if it's strategical, not strategical customers, SLAs of the customers, etc., to prioritize again high value customers first. This is our pillars of the assignment. If you was in the previous session in the morning, we touched it as well. So we have 5 main pillars. Customer experience, focusing on prioritizing the agents with the right sentiments based on the customer experience, the prior customer experience. Bandwidth, focusing on the agents layer, especially what cases agents already have in their backlog. We have weightage on those cases, if it's new versus old, if it's high priority versus less important priority, etc. And all this weighting together gives us a good understanding of what's going on in the case, in the agent loading. Assignment balance, it's more intended to balance assignment if the case is already getting assigned. So if agent got the case, we want to make sure that we are prioritizing this agent a little bit lower in the list, so we will not overwhelm him right away with additional case. So it's balancing the list of all available agents to make sure that everybody getting an opportunity to get a case based on the skills, etc. Skills match, as I said, the AI help us to do nuanced skill matching. It's not just about ontology in general and identifying the skills and the cases skills and marrying them together. It's just going a little bit level deeper to finding those unique skills. Time overlap is on the layer between the customer and the agent. We want to have good communication between the two. And if the time, we found out if the time overlap is good, not just 1 hour a day, but several hours, they can have some communication. And with AI agentic wave, and we are providing them some feedback and summary, it helps the agent to communicate faster and just to get to the case resolution faster. There are some technical steps or tactical steps for the implementation with SupportLogic. All of them together provide the good coverage of assignment of the module. So the skill ontology, we have the automation to extract the skills, but we also provide the manual way. So you can add the skills that talk to your platform, to your product. Sometimes agents going through the training and you want to inject those skills into the system because they don't have prior experience and you want to feed them. We also allow to adjust those skills from the UI. So if you want to add skills to the agent or remove, we are allowing this functionality. So this will be one of the first steps to do. Virtual teams, I will demo it in a second, but it's a good way to group the agents rather than add agent by agent to the cases. We can just create a team and attach the team or manage the capacity limits or skills for the team. Shifts is the availability. So if you want to identify how the agent is available through the day, what is his working hours, what is his assignment hours, it's not always the same. So we have the shifts. We have some integration with omnichannel for Salesforce customer if you want to get this availability from the CRM, but if not, the shift management inside the product provide this functionality as well. A virtual queue is the way to create those buckets of the cases based on the filters you need. So in order to assign the cases appropriately, you want to divide your bucket of all the cases into the smaller buckets. And the queues, this is what we use in order to do this. It's very similar to what you have in the CRM. Just the functionality is in your hands. You have all the filters, and you can provide any variation of them to create the appropriate bucket for those cases. I will demo it in a second. Auto-assignment rules, so every queue has some set of rules. You don't have to use them all, but they are very useful for certain situations. If you want to prioritize some stuff, if you want to switch from ML way to the round robin, you will see that I will demo. You have those functions per queue, so you don't have to do it for all cases. You just do for the segment, whatever cases you want on the queue. And turn on auto-assignment, as I said, here at SupportLogic, we use assignment in both way, manual way and automation. So you can create the setup steps 1 to 5 and have a queue with the agents assigned to the queue and just use manual board for assignment if you want to test it out, if you want to validate, or if you have those dedicated cases that you must do assignment manually. But if the confidence is there and you have all the logic in place, then you just turn on the auto assignment and the cases will be assigned automatically. And with this, I will just go into the live examples, and I will just share some stories that we hear frequently. A lot of customers asking very similar questions, and I put 4 of them on the screen so we can experience them. So the first questions that come in very frequently, at least from my experience, is following. We have several strategical customers, usually those are big customers or high value customers, that tied to really big deals, and they have offices all around the world, and they create cases from different time zones and different countries, etc., etc. And we really want to make sure that we're prioritizing those customers and their cases, at least their critical cases or high priority cases, assigned all the time. So we don't have a situation when the case is coming and it's high from those particular customers and we do not have solution for them and they're sitting. So let's try to do this, address this question: how can we make this happen in the most efficient way? So I will show a few setups that we can do on the assignment side to make sure that we're addressing those particular customers, okay? I will start with the assignment queues. The screen is a little bit small, but I hope you can see. And in the virtual queue, I will create a queue dedicated to those strategical customers, just to make sure that they bring all their cases at once. I will start with the queue. I will call it strategical. And I will filter the customers that I target. And I will create my queue. So at the moment that the queue is created, the cases that are coming from those 2 customers that I put in this list will be targeted to this queue and will come through the queue. I can see them in the board, or I can turn on auto assignment at the second. Then I will go and I create a list of agents that are going to deal with this case. At this moment, I will just use a few agents, not a group. Myself, let's say. So I put a few agents or teams that I want them to get those cases right away. But then I ask myself, those agents not working all the time. Obviously, they have shifts and they work in the shifts. So I want to make sure that I address cases that coming from those customers all the time. So I can create a priority bucket tool, and I can create many of those, and I can assign a few more agents that I know that they working in the same expertise, but on the different time zones, on different hours. So they are going to be my fallback team. So if I do not have availability on the agents in priority 1 bucket, they're going to be coming and prioritized second. Okay? So now I have a queue that is focusing on those 2 customers, and I have priority 1 and priority 2 agents. But I still feel a little bit not comfortable. What if both of those teams are not available and the case is coming? So we can get into the settings of the queue, and we have one more setting to put in place, and this is the round robin assignment. So this assignment will kick off even if the agents are not available on the team. So if I went through priority 1 agents, nobody is available, I switch to priority 2, nobody is available, and not available can be not just because it's not their time zone, but they also have some capacity limits and they are just overwhelmed and they don't have cases. I still want to push cases to them to make sure that they are coming. Some customers prefer this way. So we switch to the round robin here, and I can make sure that I'm not overwhelming them super. So I will just put critical and high priority cases. So now this queue will have additional fallback. If all the agents are not available, it go to the round robin to still assign those cases into the agents. Then I want to make sure one more settings, make sure that those cases are assigned first. So I have a lot of queues and dump queues are running. So we have a setup of in the global settings. So I will go into enable this automation. And then I'm going to get to the settings on the page and make sure that those are this is the queues that prioritized first. Once those settings in place, even if you have 50 queues are set up for the automation, the cases from the queue in the priority 1 bucket will be assigned and evaluated first. So what I did here, bottom line, I created a queue with my customers that I care about them the most. I put fallback team for the agents. I have agents, I have fallback team. I have round robin backup just in case if everybody is busy. And then I have a prioritization pushing this queue to be first in the list. All those give us a lot of, those are rules-based, but they give us together the good solution to make sure that those customers and their critical and high priority cases always assigned. Let me switch to the presentation and then we can continue with the second case. And this is the second question. Also, we hear this question very frequently. We recently onboarded several new agents. The agents got training, but they don't have any expertise, so the skills that you have not really relevant for them, and we need to make sure that they're getting this experience, starting with their training and then building the experience further, because they don't have any history. So how can we make sure that we're not overloading them, but they still getting cases as per their training? So let's try to do this. In order to set up this solution, I will start with the virtual teams, and I'm going to create a team of agents targeting those newly onboarded members. So I will create a virtual team, new agents, and I will put my agents here. Once I have a team, I can work with this team rather than work agent by agent. And the first step that I'm going to do, I'm going to add them to the shift. So I will have some hours that they are going to work on, assuming that those are morning hours through the week, no weekends, etc. So I'm going to head to my shift management and I will create a new shift. Again, to keep it simple, I will just call it new agents. And in the working hours, I'm going to assign them to morning hours. I will make it all week, but just exclude the Saturday and Sunday. And then I will apply the same setup also for the working hours. So they have morning shift through the week, no weekends. And then I will pick up my new agents team. And here I have the availability of the agents. So now I know that they are assigned. If I go now back to the agent insights, under the create button, I have a setup for different rules. Those rules now can be applied to this team. And through those rules, I can set up both the skills for the team. So if I want, for example, to have authentication skills like password or login, I can do this. And then in the assignment agent, I will pick my team. And similar setups I can do for capacity and backlog limits. So if I want to make sure that the backlog is small or assignment is one case every 2 hours, I can do those settings from here. Similarly, if we want to have a out of the office event, if some of the agents or team of agents going to be not available through some hours, today we have also ability to schedule in the custom way, repetitive, out of the office, so it's not only one day by day. You can also go here and select several days a week or a month and create some repetition in case you need those agents out. And again, all of those available on the individual agent page as well as in the bulk on the agent's insights. The next situation is going to be on the high volume cases. So this is a relatively simple case. They have a legacy product, they getting a lot of cases created, and they need to balance them with all the other stuff that's going on. So the situation here is very simple. The solution going to be on the assignment queues, we're going to create a queue. The queue going to include the products that we want to target. Those can be products categories or product lines, whatever works for the customer. I'm just going to quickly create them. And I don't need the customer, but I will just create a And once I have a queue, I can go inside the queue and decide on the round robin method. So the goal is to make sure that I'm feeding my agents on the constant basis, but through particular time frame. So I'm going to fill the hours from 12, let's say from the morning hours, like 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the morning. And this is the only time when they're going to get those cases assigned. I'm not going to assign more than 5 cases for those agents, and I'm going to exclude agents with low availability. So several settings on the queue that are going to help me make sure that I'm assigning a few cases a day from those legacy products into particular time of the day, no need ML, nothing, I'm just going to use my round robin situation. And the last use case, I just wanted to demo again the manual assignment. So this is a classic situation when customer want to onboard a new team and the team not very confident with the automation yet. So they asking how can we try the engine and validate before we roll out fully the auto assignment. So in this case, we're going to just create a queue, but not from the virtual queue. We're just pulling the CRM queues that they already familiar with, and the logic exists in the CRM. Let's say this queue. I just need to enable the queue from the list of the CRM queues and assign the people to the queue. And once I have those agents available, I can go to the board where we're going to see our queues. I filter my queue, and then the agent recommendation will come through based on the agents that I added to the queue. And each box here will include all the pillars of the assignment. So you can see the skills, you can see the bandwidth, you can see the customer sentiment, and the engine already prioritizing those agents. So this is the first agent that is the best for the case, this is the next, etc. So those are the 4 use cases that we hear a lot, and this is how you can leverage the auto assignment and manual assignment in some cases. Back to the slide. The key takeaways that the precision routing, this is when Agentic AI goes beyond the basics. We are doing the matches between the cases and the agent in the much deeper level. We are doing it more efficiently. We're reducing the transfers, trying to target faster resolutions. And the most important, we are learning. The agents are constantly learning and adapting, and all those skills and all those rules, we're getting feedback from them, and this is how we are adjusting the module constantly. That's it from my side. Thank you for listening. Yep.
Tali, do we have a couple of minutes for a couple of questions?
Sure.
So my question's around management of skills and schedules. So most of that stuff for us is held in either a workforce management system or a CRM. Do we have to pivot over to managing all of that stuff within SupportLogic, or can it pull that data from the workforce management system?
Yeah, so we have an ontology, and you can inject your skills into the ontology. We will need to inject it from the file or from the whatever you have, but once you do it, it's inside, and then you can have it as part of the module. You can also visualize this in the UI, so you can adjust those skills to the agents through the UI.
Okay, and so that's dynamic at that point. If we go tune skills on the CRM, it'll push into SupportLogic?
Yeah, it's one-time push. You just bring the file of the skills into the ontology.
So at that point, then you'd be managing it from within SupportLogic?
Yes, from there you will be able to manage, exactly.
Okay, so SupportLogic basically has to become the single source of truth.
Yes.
Okay.
At this moment, plus we will going to inject all the automation, all the skills that we are automatically identifying.
Okay, the same would be true for their shifts?
Shifts, we do not have injection from the shifts. We have integration with Omnichannel if you have CRM Salesforce. In this, if you do the integration, you just don't need to do anything extra. You just be getting the availability from there. But if not, then all the management going to be in the shift space in the page.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, very quickly. My question is that I understand that SupportLogic will be learning as well out
Yes.
of the cases.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and how is that reflected back to the manager, knowing that SupportLogic is telling this engine is good for crashes, for example? So how do we know that SupportLogic is considering that?
So in the assignment world, the skills is the ways that we are learning. We are extracting those skills constantly and feeding them into the engine. Different workflows on SupportLogic has a feedback loops, so you can actually to interact with the feedback and provide the feedback like through signals, through escalations. In assignment, we don't really have this feedback, so it's more about skills and management of those skills. Yes. Thank you, everybody.